Welcome to Setup's CMO Spotlight. Today, we are thrilled to have Mika Yamamoto, the Chief Customer and Marketing Officer of Freshworks.
Believe in yourself, believe that you can do whatever you set yourself, up to do. If you don't actually succeed at certain things, it doesn't mean that you categorically are a failure. It means that certain things that you may do may not have worked. Believing in yourself, but being comfortable with failure and, hiccups in the road, and not equating that to your own personal kind of brand or who you are. It's a point in time versus the way that you need to define yourself, but having an overall belief in yourself, surrounding yourselves with cheerleaders and people who are really honest about, both, again, your great superpowers and then elements that you could work on is really key as well. One thing that I brought to the table and I learned from my parents is working harder than anyone else around you and showing grit and perseverance and the ability and the desire to figure it out. Figuring out how are the people around you actually motivated and what are they trying to achieve, and how do you find a common ground to be able to drive success and drive impact together, because it's actually far more fun than doing it by yourself. And it's actually better because you get a different perspective. Diving in and being a great student of the business and knowing the business and understanding the key metrics that make it run, and understanding what key metrics competitors or new entrants in the market are actually succeeding in achieving, and how they're actually redefining the game if that's in fact taking place. So understanding different dynamics that are happening around you and being able to absorb that and figure out what implications does that bring to the business that you're in. Any client should probably step in the shoes of an agency side just to see how agencies work. Integrity. So doing the right thing always, which means that not every dollar is green, and you may walk away from a deal in the short term to be able to do the right thing in the long term. One of them is excellence. So leaving things better than you found them, even if you think that no one's going to notice, and always thinking of ways that you can raise the bar. One of them is focus. You can't be all things to all people. And if you try, you end up being pretty marginal to everybody. So figuring out how to do fewer things well. Stewardship. And I believe in this a lot, helping other people around you be successful. And that could be people that you work for, people you work with, or people that work on your behalf as a leader. And so stewardship is a really big one. Say what you mean and mean what you say, so that people can count on you and that you can build trust. And the last one I'd say is perseverance. Just keep grinding it out, work harder than anybody around you. If you fall down, if you skin your knee, get back up, dust yourself off, keep trying. Because I think that there's intelligence, and that, you need a set of skills, you need a set of intelligence, but I find that the people that really thrive are the people that have a great deal of perseverance, and the ability to really push beyond and keep trying and working harder. The best campaign effort that I've ever worked on was at my last role, and that was at F5, where we were breaking into the security space. And so it was a realization, and the big thing to have learned was, involving the village in creating the need to actually drive more branded activities. And so we saw the need through sellers, through our customer success individuals, and they started speaking up and pushing that we have, and a more awareness and more branded assets and a more brand campaign that existed. And so listening to that, despite the lack of budget or desire to put budget into it, we created a campaign. And it was very grassroots. So we had to involve, and we did involve, the solution engineers, and we involved product, and we involved sales, and we involved marketers and people in the field. And it was great because people were very vocal about what hadn't worked in the past, but because they were part of creating the future, they felt really invested. And so we created something that was, we all felt emotionally tied to and connected to, and we made it very personal. And we decided to be bold and not and take it personally, and not take it down a personal route in terms of making it personal to our customers. And people felt like they saw themselves in it, but they also felt like they could really emotionally relate to what we were saying. And so it was involvement of this village. It was not taking no for an answer and just saying, look, even though we don't have the dollars to invest, let's cobble something together to show if we do something organically. And we started sharing it organically through our, through through our own owned properties and socially, and we started to get momentum, and that momentum actually bred results, which then drove a nod to invest, which is really incredible, right? And so it's, following your gut, involving other people, persevering, even though that no was the, no, or we're not going to invest was the initial stance, but taking that village and making a case for why we needed to do it. And so the outcome and the campaign itself was truly something I think we're all really proud of having released in the market, but also just how we did it and having so many people so emotionally invested, including the agency who wrote blogs about the campaign itself and felt emotionally tied to the campaign too. So we were really true partners with the agency, and we asked them to push us. And when they thought we were going in a wrong direction, rather than having, in some agency relationships, agencies feel like they just have to say yes to everything. We asked them, look, if you feel like we're going into a bad place or a dark place, please tell us. And they did. And they made us better, and they helped us raise the bar. And so I think that was the best experience I've had in driving a campaign. It's the best outcome. It's a lesson in, again, in creating true partnerships and involving others and getting buy-in but understanding where you need to make a choice to be bold and making those choices to really break through. One of my sons, he's a sophomore in college, and he has a sign up in his room, or a flag up in his room, that says, no one cares, work harder. You need to recognize that things didn't work out the way you want, but you dust yourself off and you just keep going, which I really appreciate. Warby Parker. They're really thoughtful in terms of, their physical experiences in the stores themselves, the digital experience, and the ability to try on glasses. And so driving accessibility, not just through price, but also through the experience itself online, I think was incredible. And the thought they put into the words they use, the experiences they deliver, shows such a great intention for the customer that I, absolutely admire them. They take that branding and that messaging and that tone even into their 10K, into their financial results. They design their financial, they used to. I haven't looked at it recently, but they used to put a lot of intention in even the design of their financial results and in the tone of their financial results. So to put that much intention in every single touch point, I think is truly remarkable.